Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello marijuana stock traders, another brutal day out there in the S&P 500. I can't remember the last time we had 2 days in a row this brutal. So it's not going to be a pretty sight out there for the MJ sector. You have to imagine if we're seeing a flight away from the biggest, strongest, most trusted names in the market, we're not exactly going to see money flooding into a very high risk, low cap, struggling sector. So ideally, we see market strength overall. Market strength leads to people having a little bit more risk with their funds, but we haven't been seeing that recently. So we remain patient. VLNS earnings report, bullish reaction. Initially, everybody on Twitter talking about how it's a great beat, great job. Doesn't matter, dump. From the open, all profit taking. All things considered, we're still in a daily uptrend, but there's nobody buying on that earnings reaction. It's everybody selling. So we did have a little double bottom at the end of the day, 362, 363, and just a bounce for an hourly lower high to form. But still a daily uptrend. Anything above 359 is a higher low. Let's see if the bulls can recover from this. And you can say the excuse, well, the S&P 500 is dumping. Maybe that had something to do with it, but obviously a little bit disappointing for bulls. CGC, gap has filled. Only supports from here, 1926 and 1865 in the short term, and that's our weekly higher low level. Bulls must hold that support. 4-hour RSI is on the verge of oversold. If we were to drop down towards 1865 with hourly and 4-hour oversold conditions, it's worth a bounce play or a bottom fishing play. I just put out the market video. I am expecting a bounce in the market in the near term. Check that video out because I do believe that the MJ sector will need to see the S&P 500 bounce if we're going to see any sector-wide bounce here. Cron, close at the low of the day, bear break under 604, no real follow-through at this point, but any follow-through tomorrow, and we are then at the lowest price that we've seen in years. That's a long time. Bears are still in complete control of Cron. Hourly is crushed, 4-hour RSI pretty beat up. Daily RSI not oversold yet. ACB slowly fading back to 143. If the S&P 500 bounces and 143 is still holding, it's a potential bottom fish level. But we'll just be looking for a daily lower high compared to 179 on that bounce because we could bounce 15% and still be forming a lower high. APHA, bear break. The only support now is 376. 378 was the low of today. 376. 375, break those levels, multiple year lows. Really key support test on APHA. TLRY, 1565. Again, I do believe this support level will hold. If the S&P 500 bounces tomorrow, we'll look for a higher low compared to that level. Hexo, slowly fading back down to 122, the only nearby support. OGI, still a ways above 218. Much more space for OGI to work with than the vast majority of the names that we just looked at. Hourly downtrends are our guides. As long as we are in an hourly downtrend, the bears have complete control. Even when we change the hourly downtrend, we're still looking for daily lower highs on a lot of names. VFF is in a bit of free fall. Big red day on the verge of oversold on the daily. Lowest price in a very long time. Gap to fill. I think we've already filled it. Nope, 383 is a gap to fill. That's the next target after 4 psychological. And again, at this point, we could bounce 30% to get to that last daily lower high. Bears are in, complete control. Labs, 247 support holding this today, but bulls need to change this hourly trend to have any confidence for that level to hold. Weak bounce at the end of the day. Hourly trend change needed for confidence. We would have to hold 247 and break 335. We're 13 cents above support. We're 75 cents below resistance. IIPR, Feeling that market weakness, profit taking into earnings. Earnings is either going to lose the daily uptrend and see weekly consolidation for a higher low to form. If it's a bullish reaction to earnings, that weekly higher low will be quickly set. And we'll be looking back up at 108.23, the recent top. Keeping in mind, we are looking for a monthly lower high on IIPR after that very nice bounce from 70 to 108. Curaleaf, bear break. 690 is the only nearby support level. Weekly uptrend is at risk. IAN dropping to the lowest price we've seen on this entire period of consolidation. Believe that's all-time lows. Hourly time frame, just looking for a lower high on any bounce. And you can see what happened, how fast we flushed. As soon as 149 broke, very quick flush down to 140. That's a big drop. That's about a 4% drop in 15 minutes once that support was gone. CL, bear break of 667. We're looking back at the low of consolidation 590. GTII, to 1023 and 991, the only supports. And we broke 1023 today. So 991 is the only support. Everybody's testing their recent lows. The major Canadian MJ names have a bit more space to go before we get to the consolidation lows. Remember when we had that dump day where CGC went down to 13. So we have space to work with, but most other names, not really. Harv stands out today just because it closed near the high of the day. Bulls have to break 338 to prove anything as far as breaking the daily lower high resistance. C-Web in free fall at all-time lows. Daily RSI does not mean much because we're at all-time lows. Bears in complete control. And TRUL, bear break of 1326, follow through under 1292, 1206 the only support level from here, and just looking for an hourly lower high on this bounce. Nice bounce off the low, absolutely, a few percent, but again, just looking for the hourly lower high. The bottom line is, bears are in complete control of the sector. Some names are standing out. Let's see what NBEV is doing. Still maintaining the daily uptrend here. Daily inside bar, if that breaks bullish tomorrow, 240 is our daily higher low. So the only names with a shred of bullish action are NBEV, IIPR, VLNS. That's about it. The weakest names are names that are dropping to lower lows. Cron, IAN, APHA, almost, still some support there. Bears in complete control. That's where we stand. Be critical of the bulls. Be picky. Don't be trying to catch every little bounce. You can set a criteria, if-then statements. If we are in a daily downtrend, then I am not trading the MJ sector bullish. It's a very simple rule to live by, and it could potentially save you from giving away some hard-earned funds. Stack that cash. Get your side hustles on. Because at some point, there will be opportunity. That's how I'm ending every video these days. Not to give up hope. If I were not a trader right now, I would be doing everything I can to get as much capital as I could to stash in my account as cash to patiently wait for a hype catalyst, whether it's an election, whether it's whatever, and act on that. Keeping in mind that, if Bernie Sanders were to... I'm not looking long-term in this sector at all, no matter what. I will always play the hype cycle, take my profit, and then take it from there. I'm never going to hold a position for years. The reason being, even if, say, Bernie Sanders is elected and we get hype and articles and news coverage and pumps and volume and we go 150% in the sector, Bernie Sanders isn't going to allow major companies to overcome this sector and create a monopoly. So as far as long-term outlook, yes, it's bullish to be legalized, but it's not going to be the ideal way for a capitalist company. That's it. Have a good day. See you soon. That's why you leave weeds.